He's the color commentator, and I'm just the
play-by-play.
So you're the straight man, and he.
I'm just gonna ask whatever questions on my mind.
Yeah.
So it could be crazy.
Yeah. Who knows?
It could go nuts.
Yeah.
You what? I see a plagiarist over there.
Plagiarist?
Have you thought about recording the pre-podcast? Because this was pretty good too.
Yeah. Oh no, we've been recording it for the last 15
minutes.
We'll
probably do
Yeah.
Great. All my
this could be for the bloopers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The bloopers.
Or the things if you want to sue us for something for later on.
Exactly. It's really just for my own personal benefit. Yeah. It's how I remain.
I have my checkbook.
Good luck with that.
Right.
It's going to be much benefit. But
That's okay.
I love her.
Oh yeah.
Is she fantastic?
Yes.
We're looking
cat lady.
Okay.
There's this cat book.
Yeah, I love that book. It's portraits of peoples with their cats.
Oh, okay.
It's that lady again. Pass it around. Isn't she wonderful?
We're looking at a picture of a lady sitting in a chair.
The cat on her head, two cats in her lap, and one cat on the
and it is not
chair, and one on her foot.
It is not a comic strip. It's an actual photograph of a woman. She's French.
Oh, does
that's
that make
why
it okay?
she's so cool.
Okay.
Of course. Spells with a French accent.
Yes.
The French.
Oh, she was very worried.
Where's the kitty?
She's missing one of her cats.
Right.
Because there's
only
maybe
a few teeth.
It's under her shirt.
Oh God, that's what that is. It's muted.
That's for real. That's not a.
Yeah.
It's not posed.
French lady. Now I gotta show you one more picture real quick before we start because I think it's the cutest cat.
We already have started, and
Yeah,
you're showing pictures on the radio, Amy.
Right, yeah, we are showing pictures on the podcast.
Look at this, you guys, look at that. Alright, guys, the kitty.
Cute.
It is a black cat, of which you cannot discern its features except its eyes.
Just its eyes.
Fuzzy black kitty.
And he's really excited.
Yeah,
Well, Jake, since it's your first one, would you like to introduce everyone to our listeners?
Oh my God. Yeah. Now I'm nervous.
You don't really have to read what's on the paper. You can
Great.
I think you know everyone's name.
And just remember, you're surrounded by a bunch of actors.
Okay,
and
so does that mean we bullshit through this if we need to?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We're gonna have to put a parental warning.
Right. I can beep these things. It's gonna be fine.
Well, I still like the idea of beeping people that aren't even saying something bad. So Christy likes, and you just beep, and it sounds like she.
All right. So we have the cast of The Last Romance.
Except for Hercules.
Except for Hercules.
And Sean Thompson.
And Sean, yeah. So I lied. To my right is John Green.
Hello.
Christy Brandt to my left.
Hello.
Christy Montre Larson's across from me. Say hello.
Hello.
That's how they know who you are.
Hi.
Yeah. And then Annie Butler.
Hello.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Very well.
Excited.
It's hard getting up the stairs, but other than that, I'm good.
Right.
Yeah. What is this?
Is that an old age thing?
Fourth floor thing.
Wow.
Now we're at 10th
we're
floor.
already here. I love you.
Get your hands off my knee.
My hand was nowhere near your knee.
It's radio. We can make up anything we want.
This is true.
So Christy, last year your first show here was Forum,
Uh-huh.
and now you're doing The Last Romance. They're a lot different in many ways. Could you explain how you kind of go about doing one versus the other?
Well, a musical involves a lot more collaborators. The cast is bigger. There's more costumes. There's dancing. There's more lighting. There's usually more scenery. And with The Last Romance, it's smaller in some ways. We have a smaller cast size. It's a more intimate story. This play is being done in the Ruth Humphreys, which is the little black box theater on Main Street. And so, on the one hand, there's less people to orchestrate, but on the other hand, some of the challenges of doing a smaller play is just making sure that we have truthful human behavior.
That was Christy Montour Larson, not Christy Brandt.
I know, but you know, Christy Brandt, I love the way you spell your name, though.
I know.
Not
It's
many
the same
people.
as yours.
Not many people spell it our way anymore.
I know.
They spell it with a K or with an I.
I know. Cutesy ways. And
Ours is the right way, don't you?
straight ahead.
So,
Christy's.
what did you want to know about the play that we're doing?
Do we need to talk about this?
I just didn't know if that was relevant, but you might want to.
Well, Annie.
Yes, sir.
What has been your favorite, this character that you're playing, this overbearing sister? Do you have a favorite part of her? What about her do you like? What have you connected with?
I think what I've connected with is that her identity is that of her wounds. She carries her wounds around. I was talking about this with Jenny Inge down the road. How people do that. I am my wound. I am my hurt. Instead of moving on past that, and I relate to that. You know, just losing my dad, I still carry that around. You want to leave it on the other side of the river, and you don't.
Yeah.
So I relate to that. And then she just, you know, the Catholic thing about I'm acting so badly. I was telling these guys yesterday. You misbehave, which is fine, but then you feel so guilty and so awful and terrible about misbehaving, and then that makes you angry. And that it's self-loathing, and then I think that's her.
I think it's one of the beautiful things about all the characters in this play that they all have a wound somehow, and they all seem stuck. And the beauty of it, where the playwright does it, with humor and with good heart, is that all these three people find a way to get through it.
Yeah, and of course they all have been wounded because they're older, and that's what this play is about. Is older people, and you can't get to be in your 70s or 80s without being hurt in many ways, and this is a play about how these people have dealt with their hurts. And
So it's a feel-good story.
yeah. Well, it kind of
Well,
is.
it
It is
Yeah,
a comedy.
great.
Doesn't it say comedy? And you're like,
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, the playwright does it with a lot of good-natured humor.
Yeah.
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 Well, I think a lot of that happens with your character.
Yeah.
Like how does that play through?
He's a survivor, and he just. I think the two things that I relate to that keep him going are music and humor, and he's been through a lot of loss and hardship, and he just keeps going out in the world and saying, "I'm alive," and he uses humor a lot to kind of break himself out of being stuck and get people to connect with him. And he also has this great passion about opera. And what's interesting to me playing him is I'm not into opera, that's not my background, but I'm a singer-songwriter, and music is my heart, so I can translate that easily into it.
Very cool.
And how is it for you two to be on stage again together? I mean,
No, it's fun.
She scares me.
How many shows do you think you guys have done here over the years, like estimation?
And just for our audience, this is Christy Brant and John Green, who have been on stage at least at CRT for
since
1966.
I was hoping you were going to say at the same time.
Because we did the same show in high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you came to Creed in 1968. I didn't come until 1973. But we did shows together in 73.
Yep.
74. I can't remember what years. If Brown was here, he could tell us. But
yeah.
Then you had a long gap where you went to New York, you went back to Chicago. I kept coming. I was here straight through, and then you came back 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
So we've done how many shows in the last?
I'm not good with math.
I know, it just chokes you up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, excuse me.
You're going to have to bleep out those coughs.
Oh, yes, definitely.
We've done 10 and probably 10 shows together.
Probably, yeah, at least.
So Drowsy was the one that kind of got you guys back together.
That's my favorite of all time.
Drowsy Chaperone. I have morphed more into being a playwright and a singer-songwriter, and I ended up back here because Mo, who used to be the artistic director, sort of said, we need. Basically, I think he was saying we need a mate for Christy on stage.
An old guy.
You know how they do with the zoo, and you need. But I mean,
right?
We need.
So CRT is a zoo.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's another story. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, they needed an old, panda bear to come out and play with Christy. I think that's my image anyway.
So do you see yourself as a panda bear? Is that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Is this therapy or
musical
radio?
I don't know.
Panda
Yeah,
bear.
a musical panda bear. And may or
Well,
may not do
the
opera.
thing is, we did Drowsy Chaperone, where we hadn't acted together in years, and she played my what I was the butler, and she was.
But we were in love.
That's right.
I
We
was
were
the
in love.
lady.
But the main thing was Christy spit in my face throughout the whole play. As you remember.
Right.
And I think that said something to Jessica, like, "Oh yeah, these two."
They've
That's how close
exchanged.
they are.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Exchange saliva
Yeah,
on stage in
exactly.
front of people.
Yeah,
Well,
and now they're gonna
and to
go
be
on.
honest, I'm more nervous about kissing Christy on stage in The Last Romance than having her spit on me. But I don't know why, because
You seemed to be okay yesterday in the read-through,
Oh, that's
John.
true.
That's true.
You
Yeah.
seemed to be very comfortable kissing
You
Chrissy
seem to be
But the
full of
dog was there.
as usual.
Oh.
Dog was there.
Yeah.
That makes it more innocent somehow. Instead it's electricity.
Maybe you guys should talk. Yeah.
Oh my God! Have you even said anything?
No,
about
no.
me?
Okay. So this year, for the cast, we actually have a stage manager who is going to remain silent because I think he's just afraid. But his name is
Shy.
Nathan Helstab, and he's a lovely individual.
He's not afraid. He came back, didn't he? He was
He
here
did.
2 years ago. He came back.
And he
Right.
just turned 2 shades of red when you mentioned his name.
Oh,
Yeah.
adorable. Nothing like the radio.
Well, what do you guys think these older characters bring with their experiences of love that maybe some younger characters wouldn't?
Well, it is certainly a very trending topic in the United States now. That as people are getting older and the baby boomers are retiring, that their need for romance, for love, for sex is just as vital as it was when people are in their 20s. There is a what? What?
We can bleep that out. It's fine.
Because I said sex?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't you want audience to go? Yeah.
Oh.
There's a segment of the United States called gray dating, which is senior citizens who are dating, and there's an online dating for senior citizens, and it reports 1,000 new memberships every day.
Mhm.
So it just shows you, as much as things change, the more they stay the same, and people need love and companionship at any age, and we're living longer
No.
than we used to, and we can still have real vital lives. We were talking yesterday that 80 is the new 60, right?
Absolutely. And I think we baby boomers, John
Yeah.
and I being baby boomers.
I am too. 63. Rock on, sister.
Right
No
on.
kidding.
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah,
What?
50
Yeah.
and 51.
They say the
Tomorrow.
end of the baby boomer generation
Nice.
is when JFK was assassinated.
Oh.
And I was born January 64, so I'm a different generation than you guys are.
I
No
know.
wonder. Explains everything.
You go for it, girl. But we've always been a little more open about our need for romance and love and affection, and we will continue to be, unlike our parents' generation, who I'm sure had the same feelings and needs but never talked about it. It wasn't done, and now it is done, and it's just going to be out there and open, no matter how you young people feel about us talking about it. And probably a lot of you are going to be horrified because it just doesn't seem right, but you're going to hear about it from
Yeah,
now on,
I
just like you hear about all the other things on television
Yeah.
ads that our generation is starting to need. Like
Yeah.
Depends and
Oh yeah.
okay, not
Yeah.
ours, but
I think
our
your point is
parents.
valid, though, that it was always probably there, that just that people didn't talk about it, and now people feel comfortable talking about it. And there's connections to, I don't think it really matters what age you are for this play, because it has lessons about you should live your life with passion, no matter how old you are. You should live your life big and loud like an opera. And there are some people who are stuck in their 20s, and there are some people who are stuck in their 80s, and they should
Break out.
Break out, yeah.
And I think I've already gotten that sense from younger people here that they like seeing vital older people, people who are still alive. I think younger people want to see that kind of hope.
Yeah, that's
For
right.
themselves.
I
Yeah,
did,
no,
right,
yeah.
yeah.
I always did.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's one of the things I loved about Creed in 1968 when I was 18, was we were really involved with all the old, feisty old mountain people here. And
Yeah, the
miners.
miners and their wives and the
They
people
kind
that
of-
had been here since the 20s and 30s that we got to know. We were so lucky.
We're so lucky.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Christy and I both grew up in Wilmette in Chicago area. And
Illinois.
it was a wonderful place, but it was very kind of, upper middle class, very proper, I
White
think.
bread.
And then coming out here and seeing these old timers was major, right?
And living in a small town for the first
Mhm.
time for me was wonderful because I did get to know everybody in town. And we felt like family. We were family.
We were family.
Mm-hmm.
So as role models for the play, I think like
Mhm.
some of these old timers like Al Birdsey and
Alan Marie,
humor with everything.
John and Dutch LaFont,
Mhm.
Chloe Rogers, Virgie Schaaf,
Just yeah.
Pappy Fairchild, who was 99 when he died. Bertie Bruns was also 99 when she died.
Was she? Wow. Yeah.
Happy lived right next door to the theater. He threw bricks at people if they tried to take pictures of him. Mandy Patinkin got a brick thrown at him because he tried to take a picture of Happy.
Yeah,
Happy didn't like his picture taken.
No, I guess not. Well, there's a very special actor in the show that we have not talked about.
Yes.
Would you like to discuss Peaches?
Thank you very much. Hercules, this is his third theatrical production he's involved in, and this time he's going to attempt, we're thinking, to play a young girl, Doggy.
Well, this is done a lot at CRT. It's men playing women.
Yes,
Yeah,
John Green will tell you.
There's so much
Thanks to you,
long
Tony.
history.
John Green will be coaching him on this.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I think he'll bring to him that role a softness, perhaps, soft-spokenness, curliness. The cuteness, he's so cute! Like Doggy in the show!
Now they're clear you're talking about your dog.
Oh, I'm sorry, Hercules is my
Hercules is a dog.
Annie,
Hercules is a
Annie's
dog.
dog.
Come on.
Annie Butler's dog.
Annie's dog.
Everyone knows Hercules. Hercules!
And
By
why
the
is he
way-
named Hercules?
Well, I named him Hercules after the pillars of Hercules, which are the cliffs of Crete. Pat Richmond told me that back in the day when I was working at Chamber of Commerce, when it was in that little hellacious little building up there that is now gone. So I thought, oh wow, because she said the miners were, all they read were the Bible and Greek mythology and stuff like that. So they donned those cliffs, pillars of Hercules. So I named him Hercules, and then it turns out there's like 5 other Hercules at the time in Crete.
I thought it because he was so tiny, it was kind
He's
of...
strong. He can pull me off my feet.
Oh, okay.
He is a dachshund poodle for the aficionados.
Now, what acting method does?
He really has to live that role 24/7 when I take him home. I say, oh my God, you're living that role 24/7, 365,
So do you call him
81130.
Peaches?
No. I call him P Girl. P Girl.
P-girl. Okay.
He's a good dog, though. I've done several shows that have animals in it, and sometimes you get a really good animal, and sometimes you don't. And it's really great to see. He was great in the rehearsal room yesterday.
Yeah,
He's
he
a good listener.
He's a good
He
listener.
was. He's going to be great, and it just also shows you how. The reason why I think this is also a play of today is because it shows about the great affection that people have for their animals and how important they are to people. And
Yes.
there's a line in there that Christy, you have where you say Peaches saved your life.
Yeah.
And I bet there's a lot of people, we're all nodding here in the circle, there's a lot of
Yes.
people out there who could say, well, my animal saved my life too, you know.
Well, another exciting thing about the show is we're taking it to Denver in the fall. Do you guys want to talk about the tour? If you're excited, your feelings on it?
I'm
Psyched.
excited. I've been there before, and I just love the Arvada Center. And
We've all been there before.
yeah.
This will be
All 3 of us.
I've directed 3 shows at the Arvada Center, and one thing I always say is that, boy, the people there are just dynamite.
Oh, they
They just have really great audiences, and the facilities are beautiful. It's 15 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
15 minutes from Boulder too, which I like. But
I
they
like-
treat us so well, and it's really fun to do one show and do 8 performances a week because we're not used to that in Creed. We're used to doing
Right.
a different show every night.
And like Christy says, their audience base, I think the median age is what, 80?
Maybe
I think they're going to really go for the show.
75, 80.
They will love it.
They'll love it.
Appreciate and relate
I
to
think it's really important that Creed does that. That when you live and work in Denver, and I've done that before. I've come out to Creed to see a bunch of shows, but it's really great for Creed to bust out a little bit and let the rest of the state know what a great theater company this is, and therefore encourage people when they say, what do you want to do this weekend? Well, it's just a 5-hour drive to go to Creed and see a bunch of shows and have some great meals at Far Dog or Tommy Knockers or
the Creed Hotel.
Creed Hotel. I mean, it's a great. I had several friends last summer that did that, and they couldn't believe what a fun trip it was.
Was Road to Mecca the first time they did that?
Ladies' Man.
Ladies' Man.
Ladies'
Oh,
Man
Ladies'
was
Man.
the first one. Road to
And
Mecca was
I
the
saw
second
that at the
year.
Arvada Center.
Oh, good.
It's the first time
And you
I
thought that wasn't horrible.
It was wonderful. Andy, it was the first
I
time
could be
I
seen
saw
with
you
them.
on stage, and I remember going to somebody and say, "Who is that?
Nice.
She is dynamite."
Yes.
Yeah.
Say that again, Christy.
It'll be on the podcast. You can just
Yeah, you can
replay it.
Just repeat it.
You can make it your ringtone.
That's great.
Yeah, I did
Once I
Road
get
to
a
Mecca there, and then Annie and I were in Is He Dead together,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, they're doing
John.
some
I was in Is He Dead there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Is He Dead? And
Around the World 80s Day was
The
last
Harry the Great
Harry
was
the
at
Great.
Lone Tree.
Oh, that was at Lone Tree.
Yeah.
That's right. But you were in Denver.
Denver, and we
We're
stay
hoping-
at that wonderful Marriott.
Yeah, we love the Marriott.
Yeah.
Residence Inn, Marriott Residence Inn.
And you
hope
have
we
all
can
this
go
extra
to-
oxygen because you come down to 5,280
That's
feet.
right.
So you have all
Exactly.
this energy.
That's
I
true.
know. I'm still adjusting to the 9,000.
That's right.
So am I. It took me 20 minutes to get up these stairs. No, I'm
That's what I said earlier. On the third
Extend the
floor
elevator.
here,
Right.
the third floor here, we're about 10,000 feet. So that's
Yeah.
the difference.
Are we really?
Really?
No.
Oh,
Okay. All
my-
right.
my brain
got
is
really
acting.
excited.
It's
Yes.
just
I-
9,000.
I just got here from Chicago where we finally got over winter, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
now
So
it's
sorry.
winter.
I'm in shock. Yeah, for winter now.
Well, and when we left Denver, it was snowing. Denver had more snow than Creed did. But then Creed caught up yesterday.
Yeah.
And now it's gone. And now it's a beautiful sunny
It's
day.
gone. I know, it's so fast.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful sunny
Come
day.
down to Creed, Colorado.
Well, what are some of your favorite
Come on.
moments, summer moments in Creed?
Summer moments?
Yeah, or well, I guess you're here year round. So what's your
Mm.
favorite moment?
I think when you first get to go outside and
Mhm.
have your coffee in the sunshine outside,
Mm.
to me, is the best. I just love that. And hearing the hummingbirds come back,
Yeah.
just all the birds returning, like, woohoo! So spring is always my favorite in general. Give me spring. I take spring over summer.
Yeah.
Plus, you start working after a long, dry, cold, boring, lonely winter. No, it's not true. I love winter. I'm a loner. I love it. So
Yeah.
next.
I like my moments of Creed when I came in on Monday, and it took me an hour and a half to walk up Main Street to the theater because I kept bumping into people that I knew,
Yes.
and not just people from the theater company, but the townies. Kevin at the
Coffee on
fish,
the Fly.
Coffee on the Fly, and bumping into people.
And how far do you live from the downtown area? How long was that walk?
4 minutes.
Well, I'm staying in the beautiful Quiller cabin,
And it's
right
about
on Loma.
3 blocks.
It's about
right?
3 blocks, right? Yeah.
Hour and
so-
a half for 3.
Yeah.
We live about 3 blocks the other direction. It always takes us an hour and a half because we
Okay.
have to say hi to everybody.
Mhm.
And if you go by the post office, oh.
Right, that's where I saw Annie.
See
Yeah,
everybody
and I had
there.
coffee with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I like about Creed.
Yeah, meet the same thing for me. And every
Mhm.
time I come from Chicago to here, it's always a shock because in Chicago you have to kind of make appointments to see everybody. And you have to organize all that. And here you just bump into them, and it just takes me a while to also just say hi to strangers, real friendly. Hi, how are you? In Chicago, you might get a head nod, like a very hesitant head
Yeah.
nod. So yeah, and to walk out and see the mountains, just
The cliffs right at the end of town.
yeah, it's unbelievable.
And the deer and the elk on the way up.
I haven't
The
seen
antelope.
as many deer this year in town. Like there's usually packs of them, and I have not seen
I
them.
think I had deer come through the other night because I saw little footprints in the snow. That looked like a hooved animal.
And strangely, I haven't seen ticks, and that's really weird. Not to see ticks yet. I hope that doesn't mean it's the end of the world because
Yeah,
usually I'm
not
pulling
see
them
any
off my
ticks.
Right.
I've never
Oh yeah,
seen one
Christy's
since I've been
ticking for us, so you can relax. Christy Montour Larson, that is. This is gonna be chaos.
I
You
got
know
the
that.
best
It
ticks in
is.
the
It's
system.
already
Well,
fast.
we decided that I should be Christy Jr.
Yes.
Okay. Christy
Lil
Jr.
Christy.
Little Christy.
Little Christy.
That's great. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, Little Christy. That's right.
Lil Christy.
I'm Christy 1.
That's right. You will always be Christy One.
I will.
Well, Jake, do you want to give the outro there and thank our guests? Or did you have another question?
No, I don't have any more questions. So thank you guys for
Pleasure.
coming in.
Way
Thank
too
you.
much.
It's like, it's been it's all been long-winded. I'm gonna cut this down. Like,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It's great.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you, Jay.
We love the
Thanks,
theater.
guys.
We love the
Thank you